everyone. Welcome to LOCKBEARD Phenomena number 116. Thanksgiving 2023. It is Saturday, November 18th, 2023. I don't do a lot of celebrating of this holiday, but most everybody in the United States is, so that's this week is all about Thanksgiving for most people in the U.S. For those of you watching over in other countries who are wondering what the hell this is, there are a few people that don't know. Not everybody knows what the United States is up to or cares, for that matter. And despite the appearance of a combined Bigfoot alien turkey hunt on the thumbnail, I don't think that I doubt that either creature cares about Thanksgiving or cares about hunting turkey, for that matter. Turkey is way too small prey for Bigfoot to worry about, and aliens probably eat something else. I don't know. Who knows? We don't really know. See who's in the chat. We got Icon. I got StreamYard working. I don't know what was wrong with it last week, so we can actually put the comments up on the screen until I figure out something else. Maybe there's a better option to StreamYard at this point. I don't know. You would think YouTube would have a top of the line setup, but they don't. Icon says, "Welcome to the Steakums stream, where the evening's topic will be: Can turkeys fly?" Turkeys can fly. They can fly. They're not the most exceptional flyers, but they can fly. Mr. Lee's here. Welcome. Everybody wants to support the channel, please do. That's the way you can do it right there for now until things change. Maybe this channel grows this time and doesn't get deleted. I'm trying not to push the limits as much, but it's funny. Like I had, I'm doing those of you that are subscribed have noticed that I've been uploading the old episodes so I can get all of them on the channel. Eventually, it'll take a couple of months for them all to be uploaded. And the other channel, which will be the network channel, where hopefully other live streams are coming into that channel, I'm uploading to it too at about the same rate, one per day now. I was doing it a little fast at first to get a kind of a chunk of them in, but I'm doing it one per day on both, and then those will all be put into a playlist that's available on the channel if anybody wants to go back and look at anything in the past. So and it's going to take that long anyway for the network channel to certain things to get set up for the network channel. It just does. It takes time for things to happen. So and I won't be able to live stream to it for now until I can get a paid StreamYard account, or maybe there's some other option. I don't know. But I need to get it to where I can live stream to this channel simultaneously with the network channel and Rumble. Ideally, it would be all the Odyssey as well, but I've stopped messing with Odyssey because it sucked. It just wasn't. They didn't make it easy enough to be able to make it work, and I'd be uploading a lot more stuff, trying to upload over there as well. They need a good syncing function, which Rumble doesn't apparently have. Rumble's syncing function is not working correctly. It's all jacked up. And so Rumble, I don't know what you're doing over there. I feel like this is on purpose. I feel like YouTube has paid off Rumble or something to screw all this stuff up and not to get it, not to improve itself to be a viable competitor to YouTube. I can't see why after all this time they still haven't been able to make things better. They made a few things better, but it's just they're not cutting it. They're not cutting it. And with the syncing function not functioning correctly, it just makes it way harder to deal with it. So I'm trying to keep the Rumble channel synced up, but I'm uploading stuff on my own as it doesn't upload to the syncing function whenever I see that happen. So it gets hung up in there. If you look in there, you'll have a list of all your videos that are in the process of getting synced to the channel, and it'll show pending. A bunch of them are just stuck in pending. There'll be 6 or 7 of them stuck there, and then 3 or 4 will sync up just fine, quickly, timely manner. They're done and they're in there, and then a bunch more of them will be pending and stuck there, and they'll stay there. So it's not working correctly. It's only a few things are getting through. So I'm having to upload them manually, all the stuff manually. Another reason why it's a good thing I'm not doing as many live streams anymore. So Mr. Lee says icon, not so bad, mate. I hope you're getting better, Mr. Lee. Hopefully the stuff I said the other night will make changes for you. Definitely talk to Professor Bart K about the stem cell stimulating, for lack of a better word, a supplement. It's called Cerule, Cerule, I think it's spelled. But talk to Professor Bart K about it if you can get a chance. When he's on a live stream, throw your question in the chat and just kind of tell him what's up with you, and maybe try to set up where you can talk to him privately, and set up a consultation, because he does consultations. You can do consultations with those other guys too, those other carnivore doctors. Dr. Sean Baker, which, remember, my family has set up consultations with Sean Baker. That member of my family has had dramatic results from eating nothing but carnivore. And people who think they can't do it, in his case, and in many carnivores' cases, after you do it for a little while, your body recognizes this is what it's supposed to be eating, and you absolutely, because you right now you're thinking, oh, I can't do without potatoes, or I can't do without pasta, or whatever your hang up is on food. He has absolutely no craving whatsoever for anything. He doesn't want anything but meat and eggs, and he eats butter too. But it's all from animals, right? Animal proteins and fats. So you just got to get out of your mindset. Right now you're thinking, I can't deal with that, but your body switches and you don't have a craving for it. You don't want it. You just want what's healthy and what your body now recognizes it needs, because you never done that before. Your whole life you were told to eat a healthy, balanced meal. Well, what the fuck is balanced? It's a lie what they said balanced was. So anyway, Mr. Lee, I hope you talk to Professor Bart K. There's only so much I can say on here without getting the channel banned. There's only so much Professor K can say without getting his channel banned. He can get away with a lot because he is a professional. He is, a professor. But and as far as the product, the Cerule company that he is a promoter of, and he was a promoter of it because it's one of the few cases of a product that's correct. As you may know, in the supplement industry, because of the way the rules are, a lot of them can get away with some BS and claim there's stuff in it that isn't. And very few supplements. Like I wouldn't, like around the gym. Generally I tell people, like, don't play with supplements at all. If you play with any supplement, maybe try to find a third-party tested creatine monohydrate or something that has pretty solid science behind it, but you really don't need it. If you eat nothing but fatty red meat, you'll have all that you need. But so I hope you listen about that, Mr. Lee. It could save your life. One, the dietary change, and two, the use of the stem cell promoting supplement. The reality is right now you're alive, therefore your liver is not dead, right? If you have a dead chunk of rotting flesh in you, you would not be talking to us right now. Your liver is still there and has some degree of life left in it. All you need to do is one, stop poisoning your body with anything that's poisonous, which is anything from a plant. So that your body can heal better, and it might just heal from that alone. But two, if you're in a really bad situation, very bad condition, utilizing that Cerule supplement to promote stem cells to help your body, because a stem cell is just a cell it's an undifferentiated cell. That's all it is, and it will go to wherever a damaged or old cell is, and then become one of those cells to replace the damaged ones, and you'll heal. So I hope you listen, really, really listen, man. I'm so tired. I try to tell people how to save their own lives, and they don't listen, and they die. I can't tell you how many times it's happened over these last several years, because they want to just listen to the regular doctors who guess what, they failed. They left you to die. They're failing. Even as they continue to fail you, you're like, oh well, these are the real doctors. Well, yeah, well, they fail all the time, and you should try something else, in my opinion. So, and there are people who have, and people who have had dramatic results in healing. There's things, people, you hear the stories, like I told you all about the 60 Minutes story. 60 Minutes did a story on this guy who the doctors pronounced this guy doomed, right? And his family didn't listen. They listened to something else and saved his life. And he was cured of, I think it was a swine flu he had, and leukemia. The same treatment cured him of both. 60 Minutes reported on this. This video you can find on YouTube. Just type in vitamin C miracle cure. So just trying to save lives, folks. Angel's here, welcome. Icon says it's a good day when the dog spooks a turkey out of a tree and spazzes out looking for it in the tree it left. Angel says, I really don't care for Rumble. The live streams seem to lag on me. Yeah, they do lag. That's another problem. Something they should have been able to solve by now. I only keep it in case YouTube screws with you again and I can watch there. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm still on Rumble. I'm not saying give it up. I'm just saying they're taking a long time to get Rumble up to snuff. Mr. Lee says, Lockbeard, I am a bit scared of Professor Bart. I will ask him in live chat. Don't be scared, man. Yeah, I mean, obviously he's doing a lot of comedy on his channel. He's got multiple channels. He's got one channel where he does a more serious, approach to things. It's more of a serious channel. The other channel is it's it's a lot of comedy, but the dietary information is accurate. Um, but the reason why I'm just saying him specifically, because I mean, let's be real. As you're stating here, um, a lot of people see that and they're like, "Oh, this is crazy," and they run. So that's why I tell people, well, check out Dr. Ken Berry, check out Dr. Sean Baker, check out Dr. Anthony Shafee. There's three good ones that you can check out. Then they have, they do YouTube as well. Everybody does YouTube anymore. um, and talk to them if you have any doubts about as far as the dietary end of things. Those guys may not know anything about cerule products, though, so you would have to talk to Professor Bart K for more, for information about that. Or maybe there's something out there that I'm not aware of that would help promote stem cells. But the thing you can do today, right now, is just, get rid of all the plants in your diet, because they're all, and I don't know what caused your problem, for sure. I'm sure you don't necessarily want to talk about it. But if you eliminate that cause, that's a big step along the way of allowing your body to heal. But getting rid of the poisons in your diet will hopefully would allow your body to heal on its own. I mean, the human body isn't made to just sit there and just break down, right? It's a resilient. It's supposed to fight injury and disease, and it will survive. It will heal if it's given half a chance. The problem is, in our culture, we've become accustomed to constantly shoveling these foods in our mouth that aren't really foods for humans. So you become poisoned, and you're constantly poisoned, so your body has a hard time functioning correctly. This is exactly why you shouldn't give anything to Bigfoot other than a piece of, meat, wild meat, or maybe fruits. And rare, just because fruits again, for Bigfoot, fruit is a rare thing, just as it is for us in the wild. It's not something you're supposed to have every day. So if you're giving Bigfoot fruit, don't be giving it to them every day of the year. The best thing I think to do is don't even do that, because if there are issues with them becoming accustomed to it and getting mad when you don't bring it, then you got a problem. So you want to be careful with that. Maybe if you're doing something in a specific place and you got a camera trap and it's not a place you're going to be coming back to, and it's a one-time thing or once in a great while thing, maybe it's not going to become an issue. But if you're feeding Bigfoot off your backyard or something, you're opening yourself up for problems. So what you should do instead, if you still want to provide fruit for them, plant fruit trees. Just plant fruit trees out there, and the Bigfoot will understand these trees have fruit on them for a short period of time in the year, and that's it. Just like every other fruit bearing plant out there. So but don't give them candy bars. Don't give them any of our modern foods. I mean, you don't know. We've had some number of generations of people. Like for potatoes, we discovered potatoes only a few hundred years ago, and it's really hard for us to say or know how many people just flat out died because they ate potatoes. So we probably, maybe it didn't kill them the first day, but maybe it took a few years. And if it takes a few years for something to kill somebody, they may not realize what it was. They just, they might just thought they just died, or demon got in them, or whatever they thought. But so we've had some amount of time to weed out some of the genetics that are less resilient at dealing with the consumption of potatoes. Potatoes are still toxic to us, but we can handle it. But if you want optimal health and you want to put your body in a situation where it can heal the most effectively, you got to put the potatoes down. If you're looking at a possibility of dying, you need to put the potatoes down. And for Bigfoot, though, this is probably something they've never had. So if you go give Bigfoot something like just a baked potato, might be enough to kill a Bigfoot. Or at least make him so damn sick that he don't like you. Maybe that's why they're out there throwing shit at these people's houses. They gave him a potato and it gave them some gut rot like they'd never experienced before. You just can't give them human food. You don't know what it's going to do to them. So I would advise people, if they're doing that don't do that. I mean, maybe they can handle it, but we don't know that. I guarantee you a bunch of sugary crap is no good for them, just like it isn't for us or our dogs, for that matter. Did you quit the strawberry cough? Strawberry cough? What? I don't know what that is. Icon says, cool. I have a short video for you. Check it out. I'll post it when I get back in the house. Mr. Lee says, Lockbeard, I'm listening. Yes. Danny's here. Says, I turned my back for a minute and bam, you're on. Yeah. Yep. I'm here. Danny. Danny says, hey, Mr. Lee, wow, Jeff bashed you on Pine Island last night. Oh, no, Bigfoot in England, you fucking lunatic. I don't know why Jeff's bashing anybody. He's got a crazy story that some of us out here don't believe. Mr. Lee says, Dan, he would do that because he has sacked me from his channel. That is why. Uncle Bones is here. Welcome. Icon says, Mr. Lee, here you go. It's a link to something there. Raptor's here. Welcome. He says, Will Pine Island, that dude is not too smart anyway. He makes up all kinds of crap. Yeah, see, Raptor's another person who doesn't believe Jeff Harding. Yeah. I'm sorry. If you're in the middle of the Canadian wilderness and a Bigfoot decides to attack you, I'm thinking you're probably not walking out. I don't know. With these cases where people say Bigfoot actually attacked them, I'm finding it hard to buy that story, because the stories from witnesses that seem pretty credible, where they had situations where the Bigfoot could have easily bonked them on the head and dragged them off and ate them, or whatever Bigfoot do. They didn't. Even if the Bigfoot was mad, like Joe's story, for example, where he spooked up the deer that the Bigfoot appeared to be stalking, and the Bigfoot was probably not happy about this. Bigfoot could have easily just bonked Joe in the head and just ate him, but he didn't. And there's just I don't know, people. I'm just not buying those types of stories where the Bigfoot attack. Not saying it's impossible, but I don't know. We need to see more evidence of that kind of thing, I think. Watch it after the show. Might like the vid too. Danny says he said there was as much a chance of Bigfoot being in England as there was Lee having a girlfriend. Oh, man. I mean, a lot of people feel like that there's, big England's too populated, blah, 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 blah. Maybe. But the reality is there's still forests in England. And people assume that just because they never saw the Bigfoot out there, that the Bigfoot can't possibly be there. I would challenge these people to, maybe go to the forest and, walk all the way around the perimeter of the forest and then go straight through the middle of it. Get a feel for how big it really, because a lot of people, they drive to a campsite or something. They don't know what's really out there. They might wander 100 feet from the campsite and that's about it. They don't know what's really out there. I mean, a lot of people just don't get that far off the beaten path. They need to do like when I was in the Appalachians and I had my moment where I thought I was being watched by something, possibly Sasquatch. I don't know what it was. Carrying some, gold pans and stuff like that, and going up this mountain, following this stream up the mountain. It's pretty far off the beaten path. There weren't nobody was good. If I screamed, nobody was going to hear me. Unless they were way out in the freaking woods up on that mountain. Man, it was difficult enough to get to. There may not have been anyone set foot on that area. Well, maybe even ever. I don't know. Maybe even ever. So, I don't know. I think there's still a possibility of Bigfoot in England. Probably a greater possibility that Mr. Lee does have a girlfriend. Rep saying hello to everybody. Danny says Bigfoot around here. Love the peanut butter and meat lovers pizza. See, peanut butter would be a scary one to me because, I mean, a lot of people can't eat peanut butter. I'm a little leery of peanut butter these days because I figured out at some point that I have some kind of reaction to raw sunflower seeds. And I had bought some from the Amish or something. Extremely painful what happens to me from eating raw sunflower seeds. And I experienced it again some years later when I was eating a broccoli salad back when I was still a plant eater. I was eating some from Walmart Deli. I was eating a broccoli salad and it had sunflower seeds in it. And I had that reaction to that stuff. And so I checked and it turned out that the sunflower seeds they use are not roasted. They are raw sunflower seeds. So I told them the deal, and I said, look, I can't eat that because those are raw sunflower seeds and they caused me a lot of pain. But fast forward a couple of years later, a couple of years later, I was eating some peanut butter and I had that same reaction from the peanut butter. So either it was in a facility where there was some raw sunflower seeds in the peanut butter, or maybe the peanuts that were not thoroughly roasted, maybe they were a little bit raw, and maybe I react to raw peanuts. I don't know that. I don't want to freaking test it because it's this extremely unpleasant experience. So after I had a reaction to peanut butter, I hardly ever touched peanut butter again after that. And then, of course, when I went carnivore, peanut butter pretty much became a thing of the past. I don't want to eat, what looks to be poop in a jar anyway. It's not it's not natural food for humans, and so I don't think it's natural for Sasquatch to eat it either. I would think it might be risky for them to eat it. I mean, if they're eating it, they're eating it. Maybe it's okay, but I don't know. Personally, I wouldn't want to give it to a Sasquatch. Any kind of human food to a Sasquatch. Just sprinkle some deer plot mix out there. Bring in some deer. Let Sasquatch eat some deer. That's probably the best thing for them. Mr. Lee says, Lockbeard, my liver is past its sell-by date. Tomorrow I have an ultrasound to check for pancreatic cancer. Holy shit, dude. Yeah. Well, once again, I think I've said enough on here for you to get some idea of what you need to do. And all I can say is what I would do, if I was diagnosed with any form of cancer. When I stop, no more. I mean, you're really lean though, so that's a little bit of an issue. So it's even more important that extremely limited on what can be eaten. You know what I mean? Like if you're fasting on a regular basis, you're in less danger. It's less of a danger to you to slip up and, I don't know, eat some potato chips once in a great while or something. I don't know. But if you're not able to fast, it's even more important to be very strict about eating only fatty red meat, especially when you're facing an extremely bad medical condition that could threaten your life. And if you can't fast, that limits you some, but not entirely. You just got to be very, very strict about your diet if you're going to try and tackle this through diet. Because what the doctors are going to do, what are they going to do? They're going to start cutting on you and talking about transplants, and you got a non-0% chance that you are going to die if they put you under anesthesia alone. Just the anesthesia alone, you could die from. So my feeling is that for me, I need to take as much control of the situation as I can. And I have a lot of control, knowing what I know, knowing what humans are designed to be, what we're designed to eat, and knowing that this is why, because we've veered off course on that whole deal. Because of the mass extinction event that took out most of our prey, and somebody invented agriculture and all that nonsense, which screwed up things for every creature out there: Bigfoot, deer, wolves, everything out there. Because we started thinking, instead of hunting our prey like we had done for millions of years, we weren't gardeners. We hunted prey. We made these big, cool spears, and we made nets, and we used coordinated hunting techniques, and we invented the bow and arrow. That's a pretty advanced tool-making skill to invent, and it happened because we were becoming more and more specialized to be hunters. But so what we started doing, we most of our prey died, and so we found ourselves looking around saying, holy crap, we can't find any prey. And so some yahoo over here said, well, what we could do is eat plants. And maybe in the beginning they said, yeah, we'll eat plants for a while until the animals come back. But it took many generations for the animals to come back, because there was a few things that survived, but just not in great enough numbers to sustain the people. So they started plowing the land under. And now we've gotten really good at. We got these cool ass machines that'll just plow under an entire ecosystem to grow one plant. It's a completely unnatural situation. And they'll spray chemicals and crap on it, fertilizers, herbicides, fungicides, pesticides, all that stuff. And it all runs off into the rivers and affects the river ecosystem. This isn't good for any creature out there. It's not good for us, and it's not good for any other creature out there. So what we need to do, what we should be doing now, because we got enough meat to feed everybody. I know there's a bunch of people who say we don't, but those people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Okay, we have enough meat for everybody. We really do. In fact, most of the meat on the planet just goes to waste. There's a million hogs running around out here that nobody's eating. A few people are eating them, but the damn things are running rampant because the land can support that much animal. People try to say, "Oh, it can't support Sasquatch. It's too big." Bullshit. This land used to support mastodons and woolly mammoths, which were roughly the same size as an African elephant. An African elephant's a big freaking elephant, right? It's a big animal. And elephants lived here. They weren't really bigger than African elephants, but there were some older versions that were way bigger, going further back. But if we're just talking about more recent history, the elephants were smaller. I don't think they're sure why the bigger versions of the elephants died. But if you ever been next to a big African bush elephant, that's a big animal. Now imagine one that's a lot bigger. And there were bigger animals running around. I mean, forget the dinosaurs. That was super big, right? The land supported these big ass animals. But I don't even need to drag those out. I mentioned in a post on Facebook, or a comment, I commented on one of the Squashing Cowboys post or something somewhere, about basically what I want to see. What I want to see science do. I want to see science bring back a lot of these extinct animals. But but one of them is a really old species that was bigger than a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Weighed nearly twice as much. It was taller. It wasn't longer because Tyrannosaurus Rex has a tail, but this was a species of rhino, a gigantic 40,000-pound species that was of the rhino family, but it had a long neck and no horn. But it was just massive. So these big animals lived here. So the people that say they didn't, but anyway. So anyway, we need to stop plowing the land under. Turn that cropland into either a pasture and run your cows in it, and your goats and your sheep, and maybe some other stuff, or turn it into hayfield. And then just cut the hay and take it to where the animals are. Because some places you can't use as pasture because of, it's just not, it's not logistically feasible to run livestock on that piece of land. But you can basically manage it as a hayfield and do it that way. And you don't ever have to till it. You just go and cut it and bale it and haul it to the cows. But ideally, it'd be nice to just have open range again one day. That would be ideal. But anyway, but I would like to see all those extinct species brought back, and we're getting to where we can do it. If we got DNA, we can bring them back. But yeah. But once we started eating those plants, maybe it filled our stomachs for a while. It was still not good for us, and we haven't been doing it long enough to have evolved to be omnivores. We haven't. I mean, the fact that everybody's got all these illnesses right now is part of the proof of that. The fact that everyone that goes to a fully carnivorous diet heals damn near everything. Shit the doctor said wouldn't heal, people have had healed. Shit I didn't know was something to be healed, like being resilient enough to walk around in the sunlight without burning. Because humans ran around in the sun for, millions of years, butt ass naked. The sun didn't just suddenly decide it hated us. What happened was is we started eating these plants, and they jacked up our system to where we're not able to withstand the sun the way we're supposed to. And that's why you get sunburned, because you poisoned your system with these plants. And so that was one of the things that myself and others have found, is that the sun is like not a problem anymore. Whereas used to, I'd get horrible sunburns, but not anymore. So I don't know. I know I'm going on, but trying to save lives. Angel says, sending positive thoughts to Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee says, put that potato down. Yeah, put it down. You're partially there with keto, Mr. Lee, but Danny says, Lee, Nikki's already planning your memorial. Holy shit, dude. No, there will be no memorial for Mr. Lee if I can get him, to do everything he can to save himself. Raptor says, Mr. Lee, I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully everything is good after your checkup. Prayers to you. Yeah, we're not going to have any memorial, damn it. Mr. Lee is going to live. We turn him into a fully fledged caveman as he should be. Donald says that knucklehead is lurking, I bet. Or Mr. Lee says, Donald, that knucklehead is lurking. He might be. He was asking what tonight. I don't know where he's at. He was asking. I was just gonna call it Thanksgiving. Donald is driving Moose around, I bet. Yeah. Moose was one of those animals that was the few that survived. There were way bigger moose that used to run around, though. Way bigger. Like a lot of scientists might consider it a separate species. I'm gonna almost bet that there may not. A lot of these species they say are separate species really weren't. They just changed between now and then. They changed a little bit, but they're still the same species. Just a little different than they used to be. Like bison are way smaller now, but they used to be a lot bigger. A lot bigger. Pictures of you and your girlfriend. Danny says blow up dolls don't count. Oh man. Danny says Cowboy said that was a picture of you and a blow up of Bobby Male doll. What? Mr. Lee says Japanese blow up dolls are the best. Apparently, I've never seen a blow up doll up close though. Seeds and nuts are poison, Lockbeard. Yes, they are, Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee says hospital food is all carbs too. A nutritionist came to see me and told me to have at least some porridge oats. Fuck. I told her oats are cement in the body. She laughed. Yeah, Mr. Lee, you need to look. These nutritionists, look, they're just like the doctors, right? They go and they get their training, and they're trained to sell a certain load of shit, basically. I mean, I took nutrition in college. I probably took as much nutrition in college as the doctors do, as far as the basic nutrition course. But what people really the problem is them and a lot of these other people. Like I was studying for a health and human performance degree for a while. I didn't go through with that degree. I switched to some other subjects, but I did take the courses. And anyway, what you really the things that you really need to understand, you need to understand human physiology. You need to understand evolutionary biology. And there's a lot of people out there, they think they understand evolutionary biology, and they do not. They do not. And so and a lot of these people are in the Bigfoot and the cryptid area of things, and aliens and UFOs and stuff, and it kind of applies to all this stuff, because some of the things that hopefully some people have come to understand from watching me is because I, hopefully I've put some of this stuff out here, some of this understanding out here of why some of the claims that you see out there about Bigfoot and aliens and all this stuff, why these things can be dismissed as bullshit in a lot of cases, because they don't make sense with the science that we know. And so hopefully we can change things here with some of the bullshit that's going on, and get rid of these nutritionists here that don't really know anything. And so if you're relying on a typical nutritionist to tell you what you should eat, you're going to get the same old line of bullshit. And these people don't typically know much about human physiology. They think they've had maybe a basic human physiology course, but they were probably only halfway paying attention to that, for that matter, because they did, it was just a little above their head. That's why they're a nutritionist. See, people who become nutritionists, do you think some little kid sat there at 4 or 5 years old said, when I want to grow up, I want to be a nutritionist? No. People that become nutritionists usually think it's going to be something easy. All I got to do is learn to tell people to eat their fruits and vegetables. Basically, and if you talk to a lot of nutritionists, not all of them, there's some of them that are actually pretty smart people, but they haven't quite worked out the bullshit in their own field yet. A lot of them are morons. Absolute idiotic morons. I'm sorry if you're one of those morons out there. Hello, morons. But you're telling people to eat poison. And, Mr. Lee here is somebody who hasn't had any of this training at all, but somehow stumbled on keto and figured out that a lot of things are poison. And hopefully he knows from watching me, hopefully he goes and checks. Check all this stuff I'm telling you. Check it all. Spend the time and check it, because you need to see for yourself. Because if you have doubt, if you don't check and you have doubt, and then because of that doubt, and you didn't get that moment of, holy shit, this is true. This is absolutely true. I see with my own eyes. This is true. You won't act on it. A lot of times you won't act on it. So, I see someone dying from cancer, and I tell them, look, there's plenty of science that shows that fasting, blah, 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 blah. And I could tell them the studies are out there, but they don't believe me. They want to listen to their stupid doctor who has given them an expiration date and has failed them. The doctor has failed. And they don't take the time to actually go and look up some of these studies and read and learn. They don't have the background in human physiology to understand some of the concepts, but they certainly don't have the background when it comes to reading and understanding actual studies. Don't go read an article that references a study. Go to the actual science. But the problem is that most people just don't have the experience and training to really understand what they're reading when they're reading the actual study. So that limits how much they're going to get out of it. They're probably going to read it in about 3 paragraphs, then they're going to be like, screw this, I'm going to go watch TV, because it's heavy stuff, and they just don't have the background to understand what they're reading. And so here I am, beating my head up against this wall, trying to get people to listen. Danny says, my beard actually grew while you were on that comment forever. Well, good. Growing beard is a good thing. Miss Lee says, I can't believe how big the moose is. You mean how big? Yeah. But look, one of these days I'll do some stuff where I show like the size comparisons of some of this stuff. Moose used to be way bigger. They used to be way bigger. So did bison. So did a lot of these animals. Camels. We used to have these big ass camels in America long, long ago. Now they're not here anymore. The whole camel family are elsewhere in the world. Raptor says at Lock, are you talking about the giant rhino? They had horn on their nose, but it was shaped almost like a heart. Oh, that's a different. What's that sucker called? Hold on a second. I might be able to find. I can't remember the name of it right now. Raptor. It's a different species though. No, the one I was talking about is Paraceratherium. It has no horn. It has no horn, and it's the biggest damn thing. It's the biggest land mammal that ever existed. Let me see if I can find because there's been a lot of different ones, man. There's been a lot of different ones. Where's it at? Well, shoot. Might take me a little bit to find the name on that raptor. Joe, throw some image. Let me just run through the images. Here, I'll just stick this on the screen. Hold on a second. Let me stick this on the screen, Raptor. Just a second. It's good for people to see some of these things anyway. Some of these things that humans lived alongside of that were way bigger than shit we have today, except for maybe the elephants. Like an African elephant's a pretty damn big animal. It's as big as the mastodons and the woolly mammoths, roughly in the same size range. Just imagine an African elephant that it just lived here, a little bit differently shaped and a little different morphological features. May have had a little bit more hair. Probably not as hairy as they often portray them, because they got this whole idea because of where they find these skeletons now. I think this is what happened is they got this idea that because where they find the skeletons is in places that are now cold places. The problem is those places weren't always cold. Like all that area in Siberia, there's plenty of evidence, along with skeletons of mastodons and woolly mammoths and stuff. There is the remains of ancient forest, because Siberia wasn't always cold. It used to be a lot warmer. And so this whole idea that they lived in this icy, a big freaking elephant's not going to live in an icy wasteland like you sometimes see them portrayed. It wasn't an icy wasteland. It was a forest. It was a forest. So that's one of the things that we've been failed. They failed us on. Let me see if I can get this popped up though. There it goes. So you see that one with the gigantic horn. Let me see if I can pull up a decent image of it. They a lot of times call it the woolly rhinoceros. Yeah, humans lived around those damn things. There's the endangered ones that are alive right now. It's a pretty cool animal. Now that's probably a Paraceratherium of some kind. Way bigger than any rhinoceros you see today. That's what I'm talking about right there. No horn. They had no horn. I think they had tusk in their mouths, though. So you see there's the woolly rhinoceros, or what they call a woolly rhinoceros, Elasmotherium sibericum. Elasmotherium is what they call them. Here's another Paraceratherium. Imagine having those running around today. I'd like to see them bring them back. They're really ancient. They actually predate humans' divergence from chimpanzees by millions of years. But I still think it'd be cool to bring them. I think we would be okay to bring back Paraceratheriums. They're herbivore. It's going to be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's not like it's a Tyrannosaurus. Untathere, extinct species of rhinoceros. That's similar to what you're probably talking about. You're talking about one that kind of has like a doubled horn on it. Here we go. You talking about that one, Raptor? It's not a very good picture. Brontotherium. There's the name, Brontotherium. Those would be cool, though. Be cool to have those back. Imbolotherium. There's another one. There's a whole bunch of different ones, though. Whole bunch of different ones. Here's a pretty cool picture showing a bunch of them. A bunch of extinct rhino species, but it's hard to see the names of all of them. See, they're calling this one a giant, the one at the top, a giant giraffe rhinoceros. They don't have any relation really to giraffe. It's a type of rhino that just got really big and got a longer neck and no horn. It's a Paraceratherium. And then there's the big woolly rhinoceros they call with the huge horn, Elasmotherium. And all kinds of different types of ones here. Some of them almost look like a horse, but they're types of rhinos. Imagine running around seeing that damn thing, and imagine being the guy that was badass enough to take one down with a spear. And yes, I totally think we should bring those back. We get some DNA. They probably do have DNA from them. Bring back elasmotheriums, please. Thank you. And you can turn them loose right here in the United States. I don't give a shit. They ain't like they can get out of control or anything. It's hard to, not really good images of all those. So, you know, when the skeptical people that, you know, not the people that are skeptical that Bigfoot could get very big, right? They, you know, try to bring up some, you know, various things about them and supposed limitations to size. And so you're looking here at, you know, comparison of sizes. And, you know, we're dealing with rhinos that are down here in the yellow and green size range. And then that one, that gray one, and the light gray one there, Elasmotherium. That's a pretty big. That's a big sucker. And then you have this Paracerium, the big black one in the back with the longer neck. I mean, just this image alone, we know Paraceratherium existed, right? It's way bigger than all these other types of rhinos, but there it is, a rhino that weighs over 40,000 pounds. Where are the limitations on size there? It appears they got thrown out the window. They don't just appear. The fact is that the whatever limitations people put on size got thrown completely out the window. So they'll try and say, look at humans, say, well, a human couldn't evolve. Rhinos evolved the species that got that big. Why couldn't some branch of humanity branch off and evolve to be bigger? It's funny. Some of the same people that say, "Oh, the Sasquatch couldn't get that big," and then they'll argue against the possibility that Sasquatch is actually a type of Homo sapiens, as is in our species. When I say that I think they are in our species, they'll argue against that. So that they'll claim that it's not, it can't possibly be part of the human species, and then they'll use the limitations of the human species as, from their limited understanding anyway, as an excuse why Bigfoot couldn't be bigger. when they believe Bigfoot's a separate species anyway. So if Bigfoot's a separate species anyway, you can't apply human size limitations, at least what you believe to be human size limitations, to a Bigfoot. You just can't. Different races of people have different anatomical characteristics. They have different physiology. And, you know, maybe it's not PC to say the truth about the matter. Different population groups have different characteristics, physiologically, anatomically, morphologically. They are different. They're all still alike enough to be the same species, but they have their differences. And so you can't say that that's impossible for there to be a race of people that have the necessary genetics that would allow them to grow 10 foot tall. You can't say that's impossible. You just can't. When you look at size variations in other species, just look at the size variations in African elephants. You know, a lot of them, you know, I don't remember the exact numbers right now, but every so often you'll get this really big individual and he is fully functional. He's not having any problem. He's just a big boy. And that's just individuals. What if he had a race that had just been off on their own over here and gradually developed characteristics that would allow them to get bigger without any negative consequences to that. So I think I answered your question, Raptor. Mr. Lisa's Lockbeard, better be careful now. Don't want you to get this channel taken out. No, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Had to edit one of the re-upload videos because I guess there was a copyright issue, and they completely hid it from the entire world. So I had to use the YouTube edit feature to take out those 2 short clips. So people that were watching the old live streams that have been re-uploaded, you know, occasionally you're going to see little snippets taken out because of YouTube's bullshit. That video, I believe, is fully functional, fully intact over on the original channel still, but whatever. I don't remember having to edit it out, but you know, maybe I did. I don't know, but I don't remember. Rapper says never heard of that one. The only one I heard of was the one with the heart-shaped horn, and they were like 40 feet tall, weighed about 4 to 5 tons. No, those ones weren't 40 foot tall. The ones you're thinking about, they weren't 40 foot tall. They were big, but they weren't that tall. You're talking about 40 foot tall. You're talking about Paraceratheriums, and they didn't have horns. They didn't have horns. Horny Nocerus says Icon, yeah. Yeah. Troy says they reintroduced camels here also. Yeah, some people got camels here, and I think we should bring them back. I think we should try to selectively, if we can't find the DNA of the camels, that the original subspecies that existed here, hopefully we can. Hopefully we can find DNA, or at least have enough DNA that we can get some idea of what to breed for in modern camels to get them to be an approximation of the camels that used to be here. But I think we should bring them back. If I had me a big old ranch somewhere, I would totally be working on that project, but I don't. Somebody out there, you need to fund me. I'll do all kinds of cool shit, I promise. We'll have some camels and elephants. We'll have horses. That was what it was. He posted that pretty cool looking horse. And part of ancient America was there were ancient horses here. So you'd want to bring back some version of the horse. Ideally, try to bring back something that is uh, close to what it was. Pleistocene animals. But, you know, like I mentioned in that comment I made on Squatching Cowboys post, you know, my original thought was we should stick to the Pleistocene epoch, which is, what is it, like I think it's 2.6 million years ago up until about 11,000 years ago, something like that. Pleistocene epoch. And because this ecosystem is designed to have those animals in it. However, I see stuff that goes further back, way further back, you know, 30,000 years in the case of Paraceratherium, to an older epoch. So, Oligocene, I believe. Troy's here. Welcome. Yeah. We need camels back here. Camels came from here. They were originally here. They belong here. Raptor says, I thought that was a Diphtherium. They weren't related to rhinoceros. They were close. A heart-shaped. A heart-shaped. I'm pretty sure you're talking about a rhino, but elephant, not, you're not going to see anything 40 foot tall. I don't know what you're thinking about. Diphtherium. Let's see if I can look at some old. A heart-shaped horn. I just don't know of anything elephant-wise that's going to fit what you're talking about. They have tusk, not horns. You have the ones with the big weird mouth. You have the ones with have a lower tusk on the lower jaw instead of the upper jaw. Some that have both. Straight tusks, curved tusk, curly tusk, tusks that curve up, tusks that curve down. I just can't see anything that's going to fit that description in the elephants, man. I don't know what you're. When you said that, I immediately was thinking of those ones that I showed you a while ago that are rhinos. They're type of rhino. That's a big horn, man, says Mr. Lee. Yeah, man. I want to bring those things back. Those would be cool, man. And if we get big enough herds of them built up, then we can start hunting them bitches. And we're going to eat really good. But again, I mean, these are huge animals. The land can handle and take those animals just fine. Huge animals, way bigger than any Sasquatch has been claimed to be. And you got these yahoos claiming, no, the land couldn't support a primate that big. Is your head up your ass for the warmth? This land, millions of years ago, had freaking brontosauruses on it. Animals up to 200,000 pounds. Don't give me that shit. Don't give me that shit. And Bigfoot don't even have to be the. Look, you know, we got moose out there. grizzly bears, all these things that live out there, thousands and thousands and thousands of them. You're going to tell me somehow the land can support these things, but it can't support Sasquatch. That is ridiculous bullshit. Icon says, don't back into that thing naked. Well, I don't know. Maybe if you're into that kind of thing. Yeah. Okay. So I did show the one you were talking about. I'm behind you in chat a little bit. I need to catch up. Mr. Lee says Leon Okanagan said he saw a Sasquatch riding a moose once. I'm going to go ahead and call that a mistaken. He's mistaken about what he observed, probably. I mean, come on. What the hell? A Sasquatch riding a moose. Maybe he saw a moose from the front or the back, and what he was seeing was the antlers, and somehow the antlers were still had the fuzz on them, and they were resembled from his view. Something was riding it, but really it was just the antlers, and he was just looking at the moose from the back or from the front, and from far enough away he couldn't tell what he was looking at. That is one of those cases of an observation that I just can't. Maybe Leon had a stroke earlier than we thought. Just saying, the mind can play tricks on you. You can have a medical condition that has gone undiagnosed and unnoticed for many years sometimes. And so, anyway, a Sasquatch riding a moose is a little bit on the ridiculous side. So, I don't think we should, just because a lot of people respect Leon and so on and so forth. He's good at whatever he's good at his field, right? He's good at his expertise, I'm sure. But that doesn't mean he necessarily can't be mistaken about what he saw that day, and it doesn't mean that it couldn't have been health related why he was mistaken, but it may not have been health related. He could have just been mistaken. So, and if he can't admit that he could be mistaken about what he saw, he's biased. And what can you do? Crazy, that's what he said. Yes. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm not buying it. Sorry. Raptor says, Mr. Lee, I think he lost his marbles. Uncle Bones says, Mr. Lee, what Leon actually saw. There's a link Uncle Bones provided. Angel says, Raptor, I think he said when he was a young boy. Oh, and that's another thing. When you're a boy, your memory of something may not be, very clear. Mr. Lee says, Uncle Bones, that's hilarious, man. That was funny. Grabber says that Uncle Bones, thank you for that. That kind of brightened up my night. So was that link not was that not Uncle? Was that not Leon telling his story, or is it something else? I see it's a 6-second clip of something. Am I good to play this? Oh, shit. So I pop this up. Hold on a second. This is the link that Uncle Bones just posted in chat. Monkey on a Chihuahua. Sleeping Beauty is in the chat. Welcome. Raptor says to Angel, did he actually say that on a video somewhere? And she responds, yes, not sure if it was on one of Joe's. Told that on Nikki's Harry Man channel. Says Uncle Bones. Raptor says the Angel and Bones. Thank you both. I'll have to find that one. Now I know why Nikki's channel sucks so bad. Past 5 or 6 shows started to act like Bigfoot Odyssey. Well, look. She's biased. You know? She's biased. So, and I've been trying to, try to find time to get the Rimmer documentary type video out, but it's just going to take a lot of time that I don't got. The bills got to be paid, right? And I got to do what I got to do. But I would think that your average person, your average reasonable person, when they see that video, will be able to see, okay, look, there was no reason for people to get so mad at me that they, went on live stream bitching and all that shit. And because, oh, it's my friends. And I'm like, look, I'm not trying to attack those people. I'm trying to show you how you can be mistaken and how various issues can cause you to think you saw things that you actually didn't see. There was a whole perfect storm of stuff there going on, right? You're in unfamiliar territory. You're broken down. You're stuck. You're trapped. This creates issues. It creates an alarm situation. You're going to be your mind's going to be looking for danger all around because you're in a situation where you feel in danger, in unfamiliar territory, and you're trapped. You're broken down. You are at an elevation thousands of feet higher than what you are accustomed to. The pressure's different. The amount of oxygen you're getting is different. Your mind is not accustomed to functioning at those elevations like it as well as it is to where you came from. So add on top of that, that's just, those are things, average people are going to be thinking they see stuff, right? You're people who are involved with the Bigfoot community. So you got a degree of priming going on, right? You're primed to see something weird, something paranormal. Anyway, all these things add up to they saw nothing. They just thought they saw something. They were spooked and freaked out, and all those things I just mentioned, plus driving for hours and hours and hours, is mind numbing, right? You're going to be tired. You're worn out. You've been driving forever. You probably, when you close your eyes, you see those the road lines going by. They're so beat into your head at that point. I'm not surprised you're going to see something crazy under those circumstances, but there was nothing there. So, looking at what the video shows, in my presentation, I'm kind of setting it up to where a show like where the issue is and what the problem is, what the effect is taking place there. that made them think they saw something in the trees. There was nothing there, but and so I don't know why they're claiming, it sounds like to me they tried to share amongst their phones and they accidentally deleted it. And then tried to say that it was the speculation starts, right? Because, sometimes technology just fails. And that's all it was. It was a tech failure. It may be a user error, or maybe just the phone failed for some reason. The phones failed to, I don't know. I don't know what they were doing with their phones, and they said they lost these images, and so the speculation started, and then was this the government trying to cover something up? Basically, is where we kind of landed, right? Well, I don't think the government was trying to cover up anything. I just think it was a tech failure or user error, one of those things, and that just adds to the whole freak out factor. But something that really kind of turned me off really badly is when someone doesn't want anyone else to go to the scene of the event. You're hiding something. I'm sorry, you're hiding something. It's a public place and you don't want anyone else to go there, you're hiding something. I'm sorry. I can't imagine any other reason. You can say this stuff about, oh yeah, I don't think anyone should be there. You're hiding something. You're afraid someone's going to go out there and see and look around and say, look, recreate the conditions, or go out there when the conditions are similar and go to the exact location. And hey, look, we can see what the issue is here, why they thought they saw something and there wasn't anything there. If you don't want people to go to the place of your sighting, then you must be afraid they're going to find out that what you claimed you saw wasn't what was actually there. Because they can see everything that you saw, it's still there, and it hasn't changed. So, yeah. Sorry. I mean, that's my assessment of the situation here. Luckily, we had the video they shared. I got it saved on my computer, so don't be trying to scrub it off the internet. It's pointless at this point. I've got it saved. I got clips taken out, frame taken out and taken apart, and to show where the issue, why things they thought they saw were there weren't there. But Mr. Lee says Leon Okanagan was in the back of a moving vehicle when he saw the Sasquatch on the moose's back. Well, that just adds another element of why he was mistaken about what he saw. I don't think Sasquatches are out there riding freaking moose, man. Raptor says, I can't believe he actually said that. Sounds like they're all doing it now to get more people on channel for money. Angel says, Raptor, this was quite a while ago. Yeah, it was a long time ago, Raptor. Mr. Lee says, Lockbeard, click on the Uncle Bones link. Yep, already did that. Thank you, dear. Appreciate that. Angel says, this Sunday, Nikki is supposed to have Joe's celebration of life. This one I will watch. Danny says, yeah, Lockbird, you really should watch Pine Island Jeff's show from Friday. Mr. Lee says, actually, Leon Okanagan did tell the whole story on that show, Bigfoot Cafe with Daniela and Jay Birch, which I liked, but you can't watch the reruns because Daniela had a falling out with Jay. Mr. Lee says, Angel, I will watch too. Jeff called it Bigfoot on the brain. Says Danny. Raptor says, Danny, I can't believe Jeff was saying that I have said that on all kinds of shows for the past 3 years, taking other people's comments and using it like he did. Oops. Danny says, yep, Jeff done pissed in some cornflakes Friday night. Man, I don't know if I have time to sit down and watch Jeff's show, though. So, yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to. Raptor says, Danny, did he say anything about me? He had nothing to say about Raptor? Raptor's going to feel left out if something... Jeff, if you're out there, you need to say something about Raptor, or he's going to feel left out. He's going to feel neglected. You got to say something about Raptor. So, here's a picture of... hold on a second. I'm not sure what's that supposed to be there. Not going on. Trying to find... That's not going to work. Trying to find a size comparison of today's elephants with the ancient ones. The big one. It's like the internet's not going to cooperate with me today. Well, hold on a second. Come on, internets. This is... Hold on a second. That's the best I'm going to get. It's the best I'm going to get. Hold on a second. Catch up in the chats real quick. Danny says Raptor is one of the few he left out. Got everyone else. I guess so. We'll have to watch it, says Angel. Made sure he got Mr. Lee. Red Raiders here. Welcome. Says I finally caught a lie. Better late than never. That's okay. Welcome. Mr. Lee says Raptor, Jeff does mention you occasionally. Don't feel left out, buddy. Working, doing med pass, but listening. Cool. Mr. Lee says, Dan, I would watch it, but I can't bring myself to, even on high speed. Yeah. Just so much BS in the past. It's just, Bat Mom's here. Welcome. Everybody here but Donald. What happened to Donald? I think I fell asleep watching. So here's a comparison. You see all those animals there. See that the picture at the top is not accurate to size. They just size the pictures to where they fit. At the bottom is the accurate sizes of these animals on this one. So I don't like this one because of that. Then he says, see, that just brought up Jeff's name and it went from 12 to 22. It's somebody run over there and tell Jeff, hey, they mentioned you over here. I'm sure it wasn't that. I mean, it could have been. I don't know. That one says, my internet sucks, but wanted to say hi. Cool. Let me zoom in on this image here. So, I mean, I need it where it shows the modern day examples, comparing modern elephants, because an African elephant is way smaller than this elephant. You see the little man there. I mean, here you get a better look at them, but that isn't the right size comparison there. That is. So, just a few thousand years ago, before the big extinction happened, we had these big freaking animals here. You see this bison. The bison were just way bigger. There were the rhinos, these Elasmotherium rhinos, way bigger than today's rhinos. That elephant, Paleoloxodon nemedicus, way bigger than an African elephant. The bears were bigger. There were bigger bears. There were smaller species running around too, but these were big examples of animals. And so, of course, none of these are bipedal. Some people say, well, the size of Sasquatch, blah, 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 bipedal, makes a difference. And, well, if you want to talk about bipedal animals, then we got examples of bipedal animals that are way bigger than any Sasquatch has ever been claimed to be. And we know for a fact these bipedal animals existed. They're not primates, none of them, but they were still big bipedal animals. So people are trying to say, well, the sizes of Sasquatch claim to be up to, I start hearing 12, 13, 14, 15 feet. I start getting a little more skeptical, but it's not possible. 10 feet, I think, is definitely very reasonable size. And so these people try to say, well, it's not possible for Sasquatch to be that big because humans, blah, 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 square cube, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter because animals any creature can clearly evolve to be bigger sizes than we've seen. You've seen where they found leftover race of mammoths on an island somewhere. They survived after the extinction of all the others. Some of them survived on this island, and they had to quickly evolve to a smaller size. They had to change to a smaller size and to survive on the island. But so these sizes can change pretty dramatically sometimes. But that bison is, it's way bigger than today's bison. So what if it turns out that some of these bigger bison here survived and they're somewhere, somewhere out in the wild somewhere where there isn't hardly any people, and we find them, are people going to say, well, this is impossible, but bison can't be this big? Well, yes, they can, and there they are, and we have tons of bones of them, even if we didn't find them. These rhinos, same thing. Those bears, same thing. The elephants, same things. Elasmotherium. I'm sure there's some picture of Elasmotherium here somewhere that we showed earlier. Huge, huge animal. 40,000 pounds of mammal. But you know, these claims are ridiculous. People make. It can't. They say they can't possibly be that big. Well, it's not true at all. I'm trying to remember the name of that one species of bird. They called it. One of the names they called it was elephant bird. Get some images of that. So they put a comparison here. This will work. An ostrich, a chicken, a guy, and one of these elephant birds, which they think they're going to be able to restore these to because they got genetic material, and they'll be able to bring them back. So this bird, I'm going to have to get accurate numbers here. So there's your bipedal example, right? It evolved from a type of bird. It is a type of bird, so it's shaped like a bird, so don't be thrown off by the shape of it. It's a bird. So, humans came from apes, so we're shaped like an ape that stood up straight. But this is what happens when a bird stands on two legs. And which, pretty much they all do, right? But we're looking at big things, megafauna. Try to find a which species is the really big one? Achaeos maximus, I think it is. Give me a moment. Well, just a minute. Just give me the size, guys. Where's the size? Here we go. Maybe. Okay. The Achaeos. No, that's not the one I'm looking at. Here, okay, Achaeos maximus. They estimate that it weighed up to 2,200 pounds. Which they think is the biggest bird to ever live. Stood about 9.8 feet tall, pretty much 10 foot tall. So, translate that to a race of humans that evolved to be able to be that big, to be able to handle being that big. They're going to have that more upright stance, because the bird hasn't assumed an upright stance really. They're on two legs, but their body is tipped forward compared to what our evolution has made us tipped straight up. We're standing straight up. So a 2,200 pound human is going to be taller than a 2,200 pound Achaeos. And so you just got to keep those kind of things in mind. I mean, an ostrich alone is freaking huge, so So these things, this whole idea that some of these people have that there can't be, that they can't possibly be 10 foot or more is ridiculous. That they, of course they can. That they come up with these ideas they can't possibly have evolved to be that large. That's not true at all. Things have evolved to be that large many times bipedally, because if I bring up a four-legged animal, they'll be like, well, that's a four-legged animal. Okay, here's some two-legged examples. There's lots of them. I mean, I didn't even go to the dinosaurs. We could go to Tyrannosaurus Rex if you would like. You know, again, it's evolved from a different lineage, so its body's shaped differently, but it's still bipedal animal, and it's way bigger than that bird we just looked at. A lot bigger. So it's completely possible for these big creatures to evolve. Let's see, Danny put a link in there for something there. Batmom. Raptor says, yeah, Jeff was telling everybody to block me off the shows. He said I was an instigator and a troll. Well, you seem to be fine here. Batmom says, Raptor, we all block you. You're just unblockable. Raider says, finding a whole new real group here compared to those who shall not be named. You can name anybody you want here. I don't care. I'm a free speech, pretty much a free speech absolutist. Obviously, if somebody comes in here dropping the N-bomb, or they're just ruthlessly attacking somebody and not really bringing anything, like they can attack me. I don't really care. Their squeaks make no difference. But I mean, I'm a small channel. I'm smaller than I used to be. I've had my channel deleted multiple times, and part of it was caused by the Vault cult over there, and to some extent, reporting my stuff and whatnot. That's okay. I come back, but and I've had trolls wander in here and there, and some of them were sent by Vault. Haven't had any trolls in a long time though, because they figured out like I don't really care. They're wasting their time. Like, you're not going to get a rise out of me. You're hilarious. I'm just going to tell you you're a moron or whatever. And if they push things too far, yeah, I'll go ahead and block them. But as long as people are not doing anything that's saying anything illegal, or they got to really push the limits. I mean, there's obviously we've got to have some kind of limits. You can't yell fire in a crowded theater, but this isn't a crowded theater, this chat room. So I'm generally like, let people talk, but if they could, there's limits they could push, but I usually just let people talk. So the trolls aren't too interested most of the time, it seems like, because I'm just going to let them hang themselves with their own words, and whatever. Red Raider says, the one I saw was huge, 8 to 9 feet tall. That one says, Red Raider, Lucky is the good guy. Same with everyone in the chat. You should check out Brent from the Tall Ones and my girl Nikki with Sasquatch Secrets, formerly Harry Mann's Hoaxes and Hoodwinks. Angel says, some people are not good at judging height. Their 13 feet could actually be 8 feet or so. And there is some degree of that. And so that's one thing everybody needs to be willing to consider, the possibility that they misjudged the height of what they saw. So that being said, I still think that it's not impossible for there to be a 13-foot type of human. It's just more unlikely than 8 foot. And there's a possibility that they mistook the height And so, but unfortunately, some of these people get all bent out of shape if you question anything about their story, or if you question their story. So, look, we want to get to the bottom of things. We want to get what the truth is. You need to be willing to listen to people that are going to say, look, there's a problem logically with some of what you're saying. It doesn't make any sense in the real world. And, you just have to always, if you got enough background in science, you have a different perspective on this whole thing. And most of these people don't have any background in science. Yeah, they Googled. Okay, I actually went to college. I actually took a lot of science. I took a lot of courses beyond my degree. My degree is environmental, but I took a lot of courses beyond my degree, years of courses beyond my degree. So a lot of people were calling me a professional student as a result of that. And I'm happy to have that title. I was trying to learn many things and many different areas of science. I don't want to be stuck to one. And what I found is it allowed me to have this perspective on things, a broader perspective on things that probably almost nobody has. Because most people, they go to college, they either don't have any college and they don't have any real knowledge of subjects that they think they can just go Google and become an expert and over the weekend, and not so much. Okay. And then you have people that went to college and think they're all that, but they are looking at the world through a peephole, a very specialized, they took courses for a particular degree and didn't look at anything beyond that. And so they're looking at the world through a peephole and don't even really understand that or realize that. So when I tell people I have an environmental degree and man-made global warming is bullshit, their head almost explodes. How could you possibly be someone who went to college and spent years of your life to get an environmental degree, and you're going to sit here and tell me that that man-made global warming is not real? Yeah, because the government said it, and it's a lie. Government lies. I hope you all understand. The government, everything that comes out of their mouth is lying. So this germ for the last 3 years, whatever you think is not 100% the truth. All right. When you have a global pan, that word, I don't want to say too much because YouTube will get uppity. That word that starts with pan, they misused it, right? Because we didn't have that. That did not happen. Any asshole could have stepped out into the street, looked up and down that sumbitch and saw no dead bodies, because that's what you would have if you had an actual epidemic. It didn't happen. And then, they were talking about on the news and stuff, oh, there's hospitals inundated with people. And I know people who actually went to hospitals to check, and I didn't go myself, but when they went, and people who like Frank Tufano on his channel, he has a dietary oriented channel. He went to the hospital there and filmed it. And he's like, look, they said this place was packed. He said, this place is like a ghost town. Everyone that I know who went to a hospital said, look, the place was a ghost town. They claimed it was packed. There was no one there. They had a tent set up and all this crap, like they were expecting something to happen, and nothing the fuck happened. It was all bullshit. It was all a big theater. But a lot of people, they watch that news and they believe anything the damn news tells them or their favorite politician tells them. And this one wasn't one party or the other. Both parties were selling the oh, there's this germ and it's coming to get you and blah blah blah. They were acting like they had different takes on the situation because they still have to pit the two sides against each other. Classic divide and conquer. But at the end of the day, they were both lying. and half the country fell for it. And a lot of people, because of the panic, because of the stress, because of hiding in their houses, and all this stuff that happened that they did, bacterial problems from wearing the face diaper, hypoxia caused by wearing the face diaper. They actually killed people this way. And then we talked about something else. I told you that you were supposed to go and line up, and it wasn't like back in Adolf's day where they go and round you up and stick you in a little camp. They convinced you to go and get your needle, and that was proven and presented to be certain batches were, well, it was bad. You can't hear about it on YouTube. I got to be real careful how much I say here. I'm trying to keep it just below where they freak out and, oh, we're going to shut you down. Look into that. When I say they didn't have to round you up for the camps, you went willingly and got a needle. And then a bunch of these people ended up dead. Thousands and thousands and thousands. Meanwhile, you have me, I have not allowed a needle to touch my skin for many years, and certainly not during this crap. Just fine. So, little diversion there. Sorry. One left was 9 feet at least. Uncle Bone saw a 9-footer. Batman says, okay, I'm out, guys. My oldness is getting in the way. I need bed. Sleeping Beauty says, wow, interesting, Lock. I don't know which part you're talking about, but thank you. Mr. Lee says, there's an ostrich farm up the road from me. Yep. Well, if civilization collapsed, go open the gate, let them out. They will reclaim the world. Don't mess with ostriches, no, man. Stand back. Mastodon. Big freaking elephant. So we'll go look later. Be a big drumstick. Yep. They think human hunting pressure. Well, it wasn't human hunting with the elephant bird. The elephant bird laid this huge freaking egg, and they think that it was large part of what made them go extinct about 1,000 years ago was humans were eating the shit out of their eggs. So yeah. Squatch America. Check out Squatch America. They're cool. Mr. Lee says, hit it, you knuckleheads. Red Raider says, okay, I'm going to be listening, but doing the meds, got to concentrate. Yeah, you don't want to fuck up people's meds. That would be bad. Don't fuck up their drugs. Mr. Mackey, he'll say, he says, drugs are bad. Messing up the drugs is bad. Raptor says, the elephant bird sounds like something out of the Flintstones back in the day. A dino burger and an elephant bird. Yeah. But it was a big animal. That a lot of people might associate with an ostrich, although it had quite a bit of differences from an ostrich. Ostrich has a 3-toed foot. This elephant, has a 2-toed foot. I think the elephant bird had the 3-toed foot, among other things, differences in beak shape and stuff like that. But yeah, and it looks like they might actually bring them back. They got the DNA. They might actually be able to bring it back. Angel says the trolls don't get a rise out of you, so no fun. Yeah, no fun. I'll make fun of them though. Oh, thank you, Red Raider. It's awesome. Luck, we love the channel. Sleeping Beauty says, yep, it's a lie. The government says, be careful with your words, Lock. I'm trying. It's hard. They pissed me off. What they did to the world was absolutely evil. Icon says, where the hell is Donald? I hope he didn't pick up an amorous moose. You never know. You never know. Mr. Lee says, Sleeping Beauty Lockbeard does get carried away. You can tell when his hands start moving like that. Like I want to smack somebody. Yeah. Well, it's maddening because they literally murdered possibly millions. Finally, my needle phobia was a good thing. Yeah, and what's scary is now I don't know. No matter what the needle is, I can't trust it, right? Because I know for a fact what they did with this, and they can do it with anything else. And they say, well, some people have a bad reaction. Hey, that wasn't a bad reaction. You put something in there on purpose to kill. Yeah. I can never trust a needle from a doctor again for the rest of my life. Donald says pay-per-view just ended. What? We watching some wrestling or something? Likely story. All good. Welcome. Burnout Rivals at the Freedom Factory. Not sure what that is. Icon says, is that like bum fights, Donald? No, just burnout competition. Donald, did I leave you a link to the burnout vids from Moon Eyes Japan in the past? So anyway, so hopefully like just the elephant bird alone is enough to get people to like drop the whole idea that you can't have a 10-foot tall, 1,000-pound Bigfoot. You absolutely can have a 10-foot tall, 1,000-pound. There's just absolutely, it's baffling to me that people make this claim that the skeptic. Look, I'm skeptic of a lot of people's stories they tell, but some of these skeptics, like dealing with the coalition people on Facebook, Strufert's an ass, and he's got his religion of his own. I don't know what his educational background is. I would dare say that he probably doesn't have anything approaching mine when it comes to sciences, but he won't consider certain things, and he'll make statements that are, I get it. When you're just talking, you might say something inaccurate. Okay, fine. But when someone points it out, you say, yeah, you're right. I shouldn't have used that word. When me and him had an interaction over him using the word conclusive about something that absolutely was not conclusive. Were they correct? And this was about the train, the Bigfoot video from the train. Is it probably correct that was a hoax? Sure. Is it conclusive? No, it's not conclusive. You have to admit that. If you're going to be a real skeptic and, logical person, critical thinking, whatever terms you want to use for this, right? You have to admit that you cannot conclusively say that was not a Bigfoot. You could say that considering these circumstances over here, this was probably a guy in a suit. Fine. But you can't say that conclusively. And so, we need to have people use use the terms correctly. You know, you've heard me. I go on and on about the misuse of certain words. Species, for fuck's sake, use species correctly. You know, theory. People say, "Oh, that's just a theory." Well, that's a stupid phrase. I'm sorry. Don't use the phrase that's just a theory. Number one, that when you say that, you basically just told anyone listening who knows that you do not know what a theory is. You know, a lot of people, when they use the word theory, they're talking about a hypothesis or maybe educated guess, but they don't understand that a theory has scientific evidence to back it up. So you have things like gravitational theory, right? Now, gravity is an easy one to prove it exists, right? Shit falls. So are you going to say gravitational theory? Well, that's just a theory. No, it's not just a theory. This just happens to be one of those sciences where you can easily demonstrate it by dropping your dreadlock or whatever you drop. It's an easy one, and I like that one because it's an easy one to kind of demonstrate for people that they don't know what a theory is. A theory has a body of scientific evidence behind it. You're thinking about hypothesis. Usually they're talking about hypothesis, and even that they're kind of using it wrong anyway. They used the right words for things. It was not conclusive. It was not conclusive. Red Raider wants a wrench. Mr. Lee says, I did get your email. Donald says, Strufert can be an asshat for sure. Yeah, I mean, they kicked me out for I don't know how many days. And then I came back and I didn't get into it with anybody. I made one or two comments, I think. And then they kicked me out again until, I don't know, December or something. I don't know why they kicked me out again. But because I didn't really I didn't say anything crazy. But they don't want someone like me. It's going to point out where these so-called skeptics are inaccurate and they're too hard on certain things, and they just need to chill. Like, is it possible there's no Sasquatch out there? Yeah. I mean, you have to admit that it's a non-zero possibility. It's a non-zero possibility that potentially everyone is mistaken about what they saw. Maybe their minds are playing tricks on them in some cases, or they just mistook some animal to be a Sasquatch or maybe a person. It's possible. And then the rest of the stories outside of those people, because you got some people that actually saw something, they just didn't necessarily know what they were looking at. And then you have a bunch of people over here who are just fucking liars. Because we know we got a bunch of liars out there. And maybe a few that are just batshit crazy. Maybe somebody else hoaxed some of these people and they just don't know it. They think they saw Bigfoot, but it was someone in a suit. Who knows? But Strufert can't. He got to admit. So when I look at a piece of video or a picture that someone says, look, there's a Bigfoot right there, and there's just kind of a blurry blob. Okay. All I can really say about that is it's inconclusive. I can't say there's just no Bigfoot there because I really can't see. I can't see if there's one or not. This person over here saying, I see a Bigfoot there. Yeah, well, I might just, interpret that as a pattern of shadows that happen to have, a little pareidolia to them where it looks like there might be a face there. Because like I've talked about before here, the mind is geared to see a face. It's better to make the mistake to think you see a face in the bushes, but there's not one, is better than to fail to see the face in the bushes that's really there. That'll get you dead. You need to be able to see faces. So your mind is overzealous about picking out faces, and that's what pareidolia is. It's a survival mechanism. So sometimes you think there's a face in the bush and there's not one there, but at least your mind is really, really good at picking out faces, and it makes it harder for you to miss a face, an enemy hiding in the bushes, right? And so that's what's going on with a lot of them. But I can't say that a picture, I can't say conclusively there's no Bigfoot there. I can't say conclusively that it's pareidolia. All I can say is what I usually say about pictures like that is this picture is inconclusive. Sorry. And of course, you have those people that get all pissed off. Well, I can't, if we start venturing away from proper logical objective reasoning, we're going to end up with Bigfoot riding on a moose, and who needs that shit? Haven't been here long enough. Oh, you mean for a ranch? Donald says, Mr. Lee, well, they're accustomed, like, for a long time, Red Raider, I didn't have any moderators. The moderators usually don't have to do anything here. I don't ask that they necessarily do anything. I mean, if there's a spam bot that comes in and starts posting, you know how they come in, they'll throw 5 messages up. Haven't had that in a long time either, but yeah, somebody like Mr. Lee might knock that out. But generally, I tell them, look, if it's a real person, if Vault of Nightmares comes in here starting shit in the chat, I don't want any moderators touching him. The buck stops here. If he pushes shit to the point where he needs to be blocked out of here, I'll do it myself. I don't, like I can't just do it myself here. And because I don't want anybody to say, well, you have this mod over here that did something you didn't know. No, I'm the one that blocked you, and everyone that was there thought I should have blocked you 10 minutes before that. Because I want to make sure that people can't say that I don't allow freedom of speech within, reasonable limits that are far broader than anyone else. Most people would block a lot of these people a lot quicker than I will. I'll let them say some shit, but now if they go ruthlessly attacking people and it's just ridiculous, obvious, just trying to create chaos, and they're flooding the chat full of a bunch of crap, and then we'll start looking at taking them out. But I'll do that, But anyway, I didn't have any wrenches for a long time. I was like, I just don't need them. And then I don't know. One day I had like multiple channels, and on one of the channels, so on my regular channel, I didn't have any wrenches, and then on my backup channel, I gave everybody a wrench that was had been here a reasonable amount of time and that I knew. Pretty much everybody had a wrench, and so now a lot of them think they should all have a wrench. So I don't know, but the good thing about you guys having a wrench, though, beyond dealing with trolls, you don't really have to deal with trolls, bots, maybe like actual, bots, but is that if you want to post a link, you can. You've seen some of these people, they post, because some people in their live streams are like, oh, I don't want you posting any links and other channels, blah blah. Go ahead and post post links. Like Batmom gave you Nikki's channel, and I have my issues with Nikki's channel. I said earlier in the live stream, I think she's biased when it comes to her friends. She's biased. She's not willing to call a spade in the case of if it's her friends. But she's over here busting people for, being hoaxers. And I'm not saying to those people in that particular case were hoaxers. I'm just saying they were mistaken. You need to call it for what it was. And she didn't do that. So, but even so, it's not a channel I necessarily want to send people to, but Batmom does, and Batmom has a wrench, and she can post that link here, and whatever. She has she hasn't given me reason not to allow her to have freedom of speech in my chat, so whatever. So that'll be one thing. I better do it while I am thinking about it. Now, Raptor, you'll notice he don't have a wrench because Raptor doesn't like having a wrench. I don't know why he doesn't like having a wrench, really, but hold on a second. Let me see. Is Red Raider show? Yeah, you're showing up. Hold on a second. See, I'm pretty far behind in chat. I didn't see that Tall Ones here. Why didn't Tall Ones have a wrench? Better rectify that too. Some people ain't got a wrench yet because this channel is still relatively new. Since I had to restart. Anyway, so I don't know. Hopefully that shed some light on the wrench situation. Donald says, Mr. Lee, it was a quick one. I was searching for the link and to pay for the view. Chessboard's here saying hello to everybody. Welcome, Chessboard. At the channel. Donald says, yeah, but what Volt put you through, you deserve one, Red Raider. Yeah, Red Volt. You would think he would have lost a lot more people by now. I just don't. Man, we're over 2 hours. I don't know if we want to go down that rabbit hole tonight. Crazy. Wrenches are earned. Nah, we just hand out wrenches to everybody, and y'all just start whacking each other in the head. This is a Generation X. That's how Generation X does things. Just give all the kids a knife, and it'll all sort itself out. Darwin will figure it out. Mr. Lee says my ship floats at the moment. No lie. Raptor says ready gives them to everybody on here. Raptor didn't like it. He said, "Take my wrench away." I don't know why. I don't expect them to do anything. It allows you guys to post links if you want to. So, and if you want to handle bots, you can. If not, I'll get rid of them. And like I said, as far as someone that's coming in here trying to start shit, I'll take care of that until the chat gets too big that I can't reasonably deal with it anymore. I mean, hopefully this core group of people here, by the time the channel gets big, hopefully it gets big. Hopefully this core group of people here will always be able to control themselves no matter what a troll says to you. They may say shit about your mama, but as long as you understand, you guys know how I feel about how, trolls should be handled. And, you let them go until the point that they are creating they're just trying to disrupt the entire damn chat. Or maybe they're, I don't know if we need to, talk more about, some specific scenarios to make sure everybody that's got a wrench knows, like, if this person's like bullying the crap out of someone, like causing serious emotional distress to someone, because not everyone is like me and gives zero fucks what a troll has to say. they're insignificant little specks of computer code that came through the damn internet from somewhere. They're this person would never say this shit to me in person. So 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 I can only imagine there's some scrawny little bitch sitting behind her computer somewhere. I don't know, but yeah, I just want to make sure that we have freedom of speech, and then we kind of know exactly where that line is, where someone has just and there's certain things that are a pretty clear line. Like if they're dropping M-bombs, we can't have that here. Sorry, you got to go. So, I mean, I'm all for free speech, but the reality is we can't have the M-bombs in the chat on YouTube. Okay. So I don't know. We'll get it. We'll get it figured out over time. I'm sure. I'll get to a point like there'll be a point where I'll say, look, I'm not going to add any more moderators because there's just too many people to deal with. But if we do add another moderator, I'll tell that moderator, so look, just I'll tell them what I can, and then tell them, say, look, check with other moderators, if you're not sure about kicking a troll out. When that time comes. Right now, don't kick trolls out. I'll do it, but in the future, it's probably going to change, and we should start planning for that, I guess. Donald says, Red Raider, just a few, but I will be making videos on my Vault of BS channel. Raptor says, Donald, I guess you're going to start busting on Vault. He's been busting on Vault for a while. Donald says, Mr. Lee, you've been eating light. Red Raider says, good. Donald, my fear is he will find another way to get another channel. So, so am I hearing this right? Because I haven't been, I don't check on Volt every day, right? I don't really, I don't really pay that. I don't pay very close. I mean, I don't know. So has he been deleted off YouTube or something? Is that what I'm hearing? Brent's here. Welcome, Tall Ones. I just threw you a wrench as well. Donald says the picture I have been talking about in the chat was used by Facebook finding Bigfoot at one time. Well, I mean, I definitely want to, if we could figure out what's going on with that, if it is a fake. But I thought Scott was saying that he personally took that picture, and that he personally isn't that what he said, that he personally saw that and took a picture of it. Hope all is good on your end. Donald says, Red Raider, he will up until he gets shackles for the collection of money under false pretense. Welcome to the chat, Brent. Mr. Lee is dropping the link to the Tall Ones channel. Jeff's show. Totally forgot about it. Plus the 2.4 hours of Lee Mullets was last night. I'm not familiar with that, I guess. Raptor says, I'm not scared to ask questions and question people what they say, and I will not change my name for it either. And at Lock, you tell me I didn't have to worry about getting blocked here, so I don't need one. Oh, you don't need one, but I mean, if you ever want to post a link or something, or if for some reason there is a bot and you get to it first and you want to block the bot, like It's not a person. It's a program, where they drop 5 messages of the same message advertising something. You can if you want to. I feel we can trust you to do that and handle having a wrench or don't. You don't have to do the moderator job at all if you got a wrench, but it does give you the ability to put a link in if you think there's something that is of interest to some of the people in the chat. You can do that. Jen says, hello, welcome, Jen. She's got a new picture. Tallman says, I can post a link to my OnlyFans page. Probably not the right venue, hey? Well, I don't know. I mean, it might be. I mean, based on some of the stuff Danny says about Mr. Lee, Mr. Lee might want your OnlyFans link. Give me a wrench and I'll fix everything. Laughing my ass off. Don't you have a wrench? I don't know. I thought you had a wrench. I thought you had a wrench. Icon says, wow, you're at 57 subs. Not bad. You're catching up to my channel. Yeah, starting to get some people filtered back. The old channel has 260 something, I think, or 270. The original very first channel. It's still on YouTube. I can't access it, but it's still there. YouTube took it away, but they apparently want to keep it for themselves. So, whatever. So hopefully a few of those people figure out that that channel is dead. And this is where it's at now. Chessboard don't have a... Paul one says, I love troll comments. Yeah, you got a whole series of videos on troll comments. Eventually the trolls are going to stop saying anything because they're like, all we're doing is giving this guy material. And don't let them. You just, I mean, you can still talk to them, address them, but you gotta, if they see that they're getting under your skin, and then you're in trouble. So, oh. Troy says you don't seem to get much BS. To me, yeah, the trolls. I mean, again, it's just like what I just said. The trolls see that they're getting under your skin. They love it. That's what they're trying to do. So, just call them what they are and laugh at them. Tendon issues, but better than it was for sure. Thank you, says Red Raider. Donna says, I've got 16 on the Volta BS channel. Thought it would be bigger. Well, since I started the new channel here, I mean, what we at? A couple months old, this channel is now. The biggest viewed video I got is the video I did about Vault from that video from last year, is what I made this one from mostly, or from a couple videos, I guess. That's had the most views. I assume because Vault's people will come over and are looking at it and over there telling them, hey, Lockbeard's talking shit on you again. Hey, all I'm saying is when someone says, look, I'm not all about necessarily making fun of people based on what they look. She called me Jabba the Hutt as she laid there looking more like Jabba the Hutt than me. I'm sorry. I'm just calling. I normally wouldn't say that, but why'd she say that? Why'd she say that? So it's projection. It's like a lot of these people, it's like those people are calling you the Z's, for believing certain things politically. They'll call you that word. Those German people from World War II. They'll call you that name. Not sure how. I don't know how YouTube's algorithm is going to take me using that word. They'll call you that, but when you see how they act, they are actually the ones behaving like those, right? They're the ones wanting to censor free speech, book burning, blah blah blah. Same thing. We don't. It's not book burning today. Today, it's canceling your channel and getting your materials, taken off of YouTube and getting your accounts shut down and stuff like that. So don't change big. Put your link up. Red Raider says we call him Voldemort. Chessboard says Jen still having tendon problems. Hope you get better soon. Yep, hope you get better soon. I don't know. I mean, I don't know exactly what your issues is. Like, so apparently, I don't know. I haven't had the test to prove it. Like, my mother has a gene for that makes you more susceptible to a particular type of, I can't remember the name of it, to a particular type of autoimmune issue. So, some people, you're more likely to get this disease than other, not because you're programmed to get it, but because when you are exposed to the things that cause that disease, you are less able to resist it. So some families are going to get diabetes easier than others, just because the other families are more resistant to it than your family is. But no one's going to get it if they don't expose themselves to the things that cause it. So anyway, when I went carnivore, try to keep the story short. So cartilage issues. You have pain and deterioration, I guess, in the cartilage, and it was a problem I was having, and I guess it's something that's my mother had and has, and that it has a potentially I carry the gene or whatever. But anyway, diet fixed it. Like, it went away. Like, the problem I was experiencing, my joints hurting and stuff like that, the going fully carnivore fixed it. Eat all the fat and salt you want, eat all the fatty meat you want, and my diabetes went away. That problem went away. All kinds of gut problems went away. Just all kinds of shit went away just by getting rid of all the plants. Because humans are designed to eat nothing but fatty meat, and so shouldn't be surprised. So I don't know. I know you're keto part-time or whatever, and I don't know what exactly your health issue is, but I mean, I would just suggest considering going fully carnivore for a while, a few months, see what happens. But just, give yourself a couple of weeks easing into it. If you do it, even from keto, just kind of eat, keep a food log, what you're eating, and make sure you're progressing each day a little bit more towards fully carnivore. So if you had if you're still eating like something like, I don't know, broccoli, you ate a cup of broccoli yesterday, maybe you drop it down to a little bit less and then to half, and or whatever you're doing. I was keeping a very intricate food log at the time. I was in the gym doing the whole gym thing, measuring every damn thing. It was ridiculous. I don't expect normal people to do what I was doing because it's not normal. It's kind of laughable what gym guys do sometimes. All the protein shakes and supplements and all that stuff. Anyway, all that shit needs to go away. All the supplements. You guys in the gym, throw away all the supplements. It's all got poison in it. It's all crap. Just eat a steak. You only have to eat once a day. You do not have to eat every 3 hours. You guys in the gym, you do not have to eat every 3 hours. That's ridiculous. And it's a problem because your gut's not supposed to be constantly have shit going through it. You're supposed to clear out. You're supposed like you only eat once a day, and you don't want to. Once you go carnivore, keto to some extent, but once you go fully carnivore and you've been doing it long enough that your body's been able to get all the nutrients that it needs, and it's not really hungry for anything, you'll be able to go 2 days without eating and hardly realize you're hungry sometimes. Because you're just not getting hungry. It just goes away. Hunger goes away. It's not the same as when I was younger. I'd have ravenous hunger. Wake up in the morning, I'm hungry. I want breakfast, and then I want a snack, and then I want lunch, and then I want another snack, and then I want dinner, and then I want something to eat later, and constantly wanting something to eat. That was unnatural. Once I went carnivore, and I did it for a while, and just ate tons of fatty meat. Now if we're having steak with a bunch of people and they're cutting the fat off their steak, I pass the plate around. I say, put your steak fat on my plate. And I'll eat it, and I'll be 10 times healthier than the rest of you for it. And they'll be like, oh, you're going to get your cholesterol, blah, blah, blah. I showed some of these people my health record, the measurement. The cholesterol didn't get worse. It got a little better. Because that is all bullshit. That was all a lie. And at this point, I'm so convinced that most anything will be cured by switching to the species appropriate diet for humans, which is nothing but fatty meat. That's what I'm trying to get people to do. I'm sick of watching people die when they don't have to die. I cured myself of getting sunburned, for fuck's sake. I didn't even know I needed to be cured of that. I thought that was just reality. The fact is you are supposed to be more resilient to the sun than you are. So now I don't really get, the sun don't bother me like it used to. Used to, I get a really bad sunburn at least once in a year in the spring. You get out in the sun and you'll get that beginning of the summer bad sunburn, because you'll be out working or doing something and it'll happen. And that's gone. It don't happen. A lot of carnivore people have noticed this. They're like, shit, I don't get sunburned anymore. Why? Because humans ran around in the sun for millions of years and no clothes and didn't have a problem. Why do we all of a sudden have a problem? Because we're eating all the plants and we're poisoning our system, and our physiology is less resilient to everything. Because of it, because we're just constantly poisoning it with plants. We're not supposed to eat plants. So, and it's hard to convince people of that, because they've been told that a poisonous thing like broccoli is healthy for you, and it's not. It's got hundreds of different chemicals in it, naturally produced by the broccoli. It's just part of what broccoli is. But broccoli isn't for humans to eat, and so it's poisonous to humans. Can you eat it and not die? Sure, you'll survive it, but you'll be less healthy than you would be if you didn't eat the broccoli. Just eat the steak. Just eat the eggs. You're better off to just get rid of the whites and eat the yolk. Really, I suggest. But most people are going to eat the eggs. I'm not going to harp on the whites, because if you're eating eggs and bacon and nothing else for breakfast, you're light years ahead of everybody else who's eating the toast and the waffles and the pancakes and any other bullshit they put next to that. Bacon and eggs, good. Steak, good. Eat that stuff. But I don't know. I want to encourage everybody, no matter what their health condition is, give this a try. You will be surprised. You will cure shit you didn't know needed to be cured. You will cure shit that the doctor says can't be cured, and you need a pill for the rest of your life to manage the condition, according to the doctor, because they got something to sell. I ain't got nothing to sell here other than I want you to be healthy and live a long life. I want you to be that 110-year-old person out there running around, squatching in the woods, and acting like you're 50 years younger than what you are. We got people that are getting their 40s now, and they're acting like they're 70. So that's not good. Trying to fix that one person at a time. Still having tendon problem. I already read that. Why is this not functioning? Troy says, have you done, I better get the charger on this thing. Have you done a vampire deep dive, ancient origins, different parts of the world? I haven't, because I don't know. I don't know the value of the vampire subject, but if I thought there was some reasonably good possibility of something being true, I just don't know. I don't know. There's all I know is the movies have run with this into some weird, crazy nonsense that can't possibly be, this big glamorous thing. Now apparently vampires don't go in the sun because they sparkle. R2D2's here. Beep beep. The Star Wars universe is represented. Hey, R2D2, what do you think about old Kathleen Kennedy losing her shit about the South Park Panderverse? Red Raider says, like, what the heck is a Nowerin? Nowerin? Haha, tried to tell me that's what my paranormal issue was. A Nowerin? I don't know. I have no idea. I never heard that term. Jen says, one day at a time, Chess. It's getting there. R2D2. Beep bop. Or as Beep Beep or Uncle Bone says, R2D2. Or as a certain canceled actress said, beep bop boop. Tom Cruise is here. Welcome. Says, Jen, can you do card reading on Mogs next week? Long time. Send me a big check. She can do card reading here if she wants, I guess. I don't know. Raptor says that Jen Scientology will send you a big check. Tom, show Jen the money. Show me the money. Volta BS channel, says Uncle Bones. That is Donald's parody of Vault of Nightmares. Vault of Nonsense. You tell me. Volta BS says, crap, got to go back on my other channel. Be right back. Just subbed. Uncle Bones said he just subbed. Got way behind in chat again. Jen been busy making vids. Posted several last month as chessboard. Volta BS says, yeah, I got a lot of views. Also, but Cluffy let me share on his Facebook page. Caught up yet? Jen said, or chessboard says Jen had a hip replaced. Okay, gotcha. Since my hip replacement lock, high tendon has been sore as fuck. Both of these form of MD. I have the form of MD. I have the odds are better winning the lottery. Both parents have to be carriers. Yeah. DNPT. Jen says done with the official part. Donald just massage therapy mostly now. Michelle says supplements equal poison. Yeah, for the most part they are. For the most part. I mean, the reality is if you think about it, did Paleolithic man stop by the supplement store? No, he ate meat, and that was all he needed. For optimal health, you eat what you're naturally supposed to eat. So if you're a cow, you graze some grass. And if you are a mosquito, you drink some blood, right? If you're if you're a snake, you go strangle something and eat that. If you're a human, you get your spear, your finely crafted spear, and you go kill an animal and you eat it. And that's how you get optimal health, is you eat what you're supposed to eat. But the problem is knowing what that is, because these damn nutritionists will tell you some bullshit that they've been brainwashed with. Volta BS says, Jen, a good massage is always a plus. Has to heal. Mr. Lee says, I eat lots of eggs. Yeah. Yeah, if you eat a lot of eggs, you just get your own little flock of chickens. It's not that big a deal, really. And if you could free range them, if you got some dogs that'll guard them, shit, free range them. Of course, I think Mr. Lee lives in the town there, so he's gonna have a hard problem. So you could hide the entrance to their hidden coop in a bush or something and tell people, I don't know what those birds are or where they come from. Jen says, after the holidays, my birthday, I'm going back to keto for a couple months and switch over to carnivore for over a month. Volta BS says, Mr. Lee, me too. I love eggs. Thinking of getting some laying hens. There you go. Yeah, if you can have some hens, get them. Decide to cut out cheats. It's so easy to put off eating healthy. Jen says, it is, Donald. I've been struggling to go back on keto, but if I set a date, I'll stick to it. Volta BS says, Jen, you better. I'll travel the 12 hours to keep you in line. Scientology will take all your money. Yeah, it's a big scam, isn't it? It's not a real religion. January 3rd date, your birthday is the 2nd. You can give me crap after the 3rd. Danny's posted Volta BS link again. Red Raider, you were smurfed, says Chessboard. Yep. Just caught that passing med, sorry. Let me jump back on YouTube here. See who else needs Volta BS. Volta BS. Smurfed. Chessboard. Smurfed. Who else? Anybody else? Tom Cruise. Smurfed. R2D2. Smurfed. A lot of people aren't familiar with all these people. Some of these are the same people as others you're seeing in the chat there. Some people have multiple accounts. Gotta reload this real quick. Hold on. I hate to do that. Anytime I reload anything, it shuts everything down for a second. Well, come on now. Load up. Load up. Volta BS says, Lock, remember the... Hold on. Come on, pop up. There we go. Remember the troll vault account that had the pick of vault with the sucks instrument in front of his face? I need that pick. The troll vault account that had the pick of vault with the sucks instrument in front of his face. I'm not sure exactly which one that was or what that was. Jay says that keto chocolate fudge ice cream, not too bad. Volta BS. Guess you're saying hi to everybody. Mr. Lee says, Miss J Fitz, you missed everything, knucklehead. He always does. He says he always does. Jen says, actually, some of it isn't too bad as a treat. Janet's on keto, says Jay. Fritz, you are in the arc. Chewbacca's here. What's up, Chewbacca? Yeah, I better smurf Chewbacca. Red Raider says, I don't say too much more. I'm still a bit scared, honestly. What do you mean from your experiences with Vault? Yeah, that guy's freaking nuts, man. That guy's crazy. That guy is nuts. Jen says Jay has his inner tube in floaties. He'll be okay. Might wind up in Georgia, but you know. Volta BS says it was around the time he was threatening us. The troll account. Red Raider says, but I do carry all the time now, so yeah. Mr. Lee says, Red Raider, don't be scared. Then he says Fritz has a wife now, and now the only free time he gets is on the weekends now. Bolt says Red Raider, he is nothing but a weak man who has to pick on people. Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy. Some of the stuff he said was blatant, violent threats on YouTube. I'm just amazed that YouTube allowed him to stay on. I mean, that's just, it's crazy that they didn't take his ass down a long time ago for making the very pretty blatant ass violent threats that he does. Raptor says, Jay Fritz, how is your foot or your leg that you had operated on? Are you doing better? I haven't seen you in a while. Pretty much blocked from everywhere now. Yeah. Volta BS says it will come up for the fact you do post all chats on screen. I'll have to watch the shows around that time. Yeah. So yeah, maybe it did make it on screen. Yeah. That's a good thing about having a lot of this popped up here, because the videos, the re-uploads. So for everybody that doesn't know, I've got every morning at 9 a.m. Central for the next couple 3 months or so, there's going to be an upload of an old all the back episodes of LOCKBEARD Phenomena. So all the ones that are on this channel, because this channel's new, replacement for the old ones. You know, I've been through multiple iterations at this point. Hopefully we keep this one. Anyway, I'm uploading all the old live streams. Unfortunately, that does not include the chat. So you can't see the chat unless I've put it on the screen like this. Or there's another way I can pull this off with the share screen, sort of. Hold on a second. Let me get it up there. It kind of works doing this. So that works too. Bought me an ultralight fishing outfit. First cast, caught a 3-foot alligator. Jay, the Gator Slayer. Raptor says it. Jay, that's good to hear. Danny says, yeah, Raptor, just make another account. If some goof blocks me, I'm back in 30 seconds on another channel. Make a belt. If you got a tanned hide, from your gator, if you send it to Ken Wheeler over at Theoria Apophysis, he can make you something out of that gator hide. He talks about it on his channel. He's the science guy I talk about sometimes. He also makes leather wallets and belts and stuff. And sometimes he makes stuff out of gator skin. So I don't know what he charges, but yeah. Volta BS says that pic was something random on the internet I'm using. Figured it made a good depiction of his woman type. Jay Fritz says, cut the line. Little gators have lots of teeth, too. All right. Well, it seems I never can get to stop the live stream at 2 hours. Here we are at 3 hours. So, but I'm getting tired. It's late. Maybe not late for some people, but I'm starting to get a little tired. So, happy Thanksgiving, everybody, or whatever you celebrate this time. Not everybody likes Thanksgiving. Danny says happy trails. But I guess the next time, I guess I'll see y'all next Saturday then. And so once again, like, the old live streams are the recordings of the old live streams are going up every day. So don't think it's a live stream. It's not a live stream. Volta BS says keep going. No, man, I'm tired. Good night, everyone, says Jen. Night, everyone, says Vault. Chessboard says, Lockbeard, may you have a great Thanksgiving to you and all in chat. You too. Happy Thanksgiving, says Icon. Mr. Lee says, see you, peeps. Thank you, Lockbeard. Thank you, Mr. Lee. Have a good holiday, says Jay. You too, Jay. And so I'll see y'all next Saturday.